Money Radio, thanks so much for joining us today. We're talking with Laura Bramnick from TalkRealEstateAZ.com. And Laura is a lawyer and a real estate agent and a consumer advocate. And she represents people in their residential or commercial real estate transactions, land transactions as well. Laura holds an active Arizona real estate license. She's been a real estate investor, licensed through the State Bar of Arizona, and specializing in real estate, certified instructor with the Arizona Department of Real Estate. And for more information, you can visit the website talkrealestateaz.com. Easy to remember, talkrealestateaz.com, or call 480-624-2705. And you answer your own phone.
I answer my own phone.
480-624-2705. Laura, I want to talk about something that is just deadly. And real estate sometimes can be deadly.
Yes, that's true.
It can make you sick. And it is in more homes in the Phoenix area than most people would care to imagine.
That's the scary thing.
That's the blue, and you can't even see it.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time you can't. A lot of times we're talking about mold.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you don't really know till you go do a repair.
It's behind the wall.
It's behind the wall, and so you get new cabinets, or you have a plumbing problem, where they have to go behind the drywall, and lo and behold, there's mold.
And it might have been making you sick for quite some time.
Yeah, many people are very sensitive, and even if you're not, it's not healthy to be breathing in mold.
You just don't want it.
No.
But it's there, and it's in so many homes. I mean, there are a lot of homes that have mold.
Yes, there are. People get roof leaks. They
Sure.
have plumbing issues. I mean, there's water that can accumulate for a variety of reasons, and you cannot prevent that 100% of the time.
So somebody realizes they have mold. It's not an easy thing to fix that problem, remediate the mold problem. They call their insurance company and say, we've discovered mold. I'd like to get it fixed under my homeowner's insurance.
Exactly. I like to file a claim and get my mold fixed because it's very expensive to remediate.
And the insurance company says, tough luck.
Tough luck, you're not covered.
What?
It's interesting because many policies, I would say most policies, specifically exclude mold remediation.
Can you get it in a policy though?
I don't know that for sure, but it's very hard to imagine that you couldn't get a rider, because there are riders for everything.
Yeah.
Jewelry rider you pay for, other things.
But most people are not going to have mold coverage.
Correct. Not in a standard homeowner's policy. But you don't know that your policy says that usually till you go to file a claim.
Right.
Because a lot of it is legalese. It's a lot of pages of small print. And the purpose of talking about it today is, one, go check your policy.
Okay.
And two, if it specifically excludes mold, call your agent.
Okay.
Find out what options you have. And unless you're with one particular company, you may want to call a general agent who can tell you this company covers it as part of their standard policy, this company doesn't, this company has the cheapest rate for the coverage you need, those types of things.
Okay.
So you want to be aware of it. And number two, then it's determined this issue has actually been litigated in Arizona. So even though people have filed claims and have them denied, some people have felt that doesn't sound right to them, and they're willing to sue over it.
There are any number of ways that mold can get into a home.
Yes.
But sometimes it's because there is some other problem that took place. A water line ruptures and causes a fair amount of damage. That damage may be covered by a policy, an insurance policy, but the mold not necessarily.
That's correct.
Fire, you put out fire with water.
Yeah, now in that case, that particular issue was litigated in Arizona. So there was a fire, the fire was covered by the insurance.
Okay.
And so basically the insurance company fixed everything but the mold. And the homeowner sued, and the court said, if the mold is not the specific reason for the claim, and in this case the fire and the water caused the mold, it could very well be covered.
Okay.
And so the issue then is if you have a leak and you get the leak fixed, and because let's say you have a leak in a pipe and it's not covered because of your deductible.
Right.
So maybe it's $100 or $150 repair, but the mold could be thousands. So you make a claim for the mold and the insurance company says, nope. No, you can't make a claim primarily for mold. If an accident or something else that's covered by your policy, like the fire, it caused water that caused the mold, that could be covered.
Okay. Now, in addition, this is important because if you go to buy or sell property,
Yes,
a lot of times you don't see the mold.
correct.
It's behind the wall or in the roof or somewhere, and it may not even be obvious to an inspector.
That's correct. Many people do hire a mold inspector, and they have much better equipment to determine if there's mold and what the extent of it is.
So something to really consider.
Yeah, once you have it, because you can't necessarily, if you're the buyer,
Right.
and let's say 5 months down the road you find mold in the bathroom or in the kitchen, you can't necessarily go against the seller and say you didn't disclose it because the seller may not have known.
Sure.
Now, there's an issue in the law, known or should have known. So if the seller had a leak and they fixed a pretty substantial leak and they never checked for mold, that's one thing.
Okay.
But if they never had any problems with water damage at all, then they may not know to check for mold and they would not be liable.
It is a big issue, and it is such a big issue that literally it can affect your health. It could affect the sale of a piece of property.
Yeah, people don't want to buy property with mold.
No, of course not.
And
Understandable.
yeah, they don't want to do that. And I don't recommend cutting corners to get it fixed. Some people hire a handyman so it doesn't show, but that's not remediating it. And in that case, you could be liable to a buyer.
You need to understand it because it's in more homes than you could imagine.
Yeah, it really is important. I mean, a home is a very expensive asset to purchase. And some people try to cut corners with getting into the home. Low down payment, very few inspections. But it's really important to put some money aside to do your proper due diligence.
Laura Bramnick from TalkRealEstateAZ.com. There are a lot of issues that come up in the buying and selling of real estate. Mold is just one. If you're not thinking of all those issues, and let's face it, you probably aren't, because you don't buy and sell that many properties. Laura has bought and sold a lot of properties. She understands the law behind it as well, and your obligations and duties under the law. And it's always a good idea to talk with somebody who's both a real estate agent and an attorney. And if you'd like to talk with Laura, whether it's on mold or some other issue, 480-624-2705. It's a real handy number to have. 480-624-2705. TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Thank you, Laura.
Thanks, Sinclair.